Good morning. All right, so here is your activity for today. It has to do with Renaissance art, specifically an artist named Pieter Bruegel. And I just want to read the directions for you so that everyone knows exactly what they need to do if they want to get this 5 points of extra credit. And again, this is 5 points of extra credit. So if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. But heck, it's 5 points of extra credit. Why not give it a try? Anyways, the painting that I've given you is called Netherlandish Proverbs, and it's a very famous Renaissance painting. And what you're going to get is a dock that looks like this. So this is the painting that you're going to be working with, and I'm pushing one out to everyone in classroom. Okay. It is by the Renaissance painter Pieter Bruegel. When you first look at it, it looks like a typical village scene, but it is much more than that. There are more than 100 Dutch proverbs represented in the painting. Remember that a proverb is a general truth or a piece of advice. And I think many of you have studied proverbs or idioms in your English class. If you need more examples of proverbs or idioms, do a Google search. It'll tell you very quickly what it is. I'm going to give you some of the proverbs that are represented, obviously not all of them. Your job is to find them, circle them, and then tell me what the proverb means in your own words. Again, please put these in your own words. Do not just copy something that you find on the internet. You need to do this on the Google Draw that I gave you. This is basically a Renaissance version of Where's Waldo? I have given you 20 possible proverbs to find. You only need to find 5 of them. Okay, let's get that straight. I've given you 20. You need to find 5. Okay. If you find it hard to see the painting close up, you can click here for a high resolution version. Okay, so if you look here, I've sent you a Google Arts and Culture map, and this is essentially what it's going to look like. Okay, so when you go to Google Arts and Culture, it's right here. This is it, and it looks really small, a lot going on. But when you go inside, you can zoom in really, really, really closely. Okay, and when you get this little picture over here on the side, you can actually zoom in even closer than that. So, and then you have the opportunity to move around and see the different things. Okay, so when you get this, it's a really, really high res picture. So that being said, you can get really, really close up and see it really, really in detail. Okay. As you look at all of these, you need to look at what the words say, obviously, and then try to find it in the picture. And you're going to go through each, hopefully look at the picture really closely and see which ones you can find. Okay, now I have an example right here. So it's called, here's an example of one of the proverbs represented in the painting. Okay, so the proverb is, it depends on the fall of the cards. So what I'm going to do is I have to find it, circle it, and tell you what it means in the picture. So if I go back here, okay, actually, if I go to this picture from Google Arts and Culture, and I look in closely, I get really tight. Okay, and now I get this picture back, and I'm going to go a little tighter. Now I'm seeing a lot of detail in this picture, and as I move around, I'm looking, I think, for some cards. So here's all these things I'm seeing. Okay, seeing a lot of people, okay, a lot of things going on in the city. Okay. Oh, and here I come to a place where I see a whole bunch of cards. Okay. So I think this is the one that it means. And if you look up here, it tells you the general vicinity that it is in the picture. So as I go out, I get closer. Okay. I can see that that detail is right here in the picture. So I'm going to go back to the Google Draw doc that I sent out to you, and I can find it right here. Okay, and I'm going to actually find the circle tool, which is right here, and I'm going to grab it, and then I'm going to circle the cards. Okay, now the default is going to give me something that has a fill, and I don't want a fill. I don't want to cover it up. So if I go to the fill color and I ask it to be transparent, I can see through it. When I click off of it, it's really hard to see that circle. So I'm going to click back on it, and I'm going to get a border weight that's a little heavier, say 4. That's better. And now I can see what I'm looking at. So here you've done the first part. Now I'm going to go back to the shapes, and I'm going to choose an arrow. Okay, and I'm going to draw that arrow right here. Okay, which is fine. And then I'm going to go back again and check the proverb itself, and it's called "It Depends on the Fall of the Card." So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to then go back here, and I'm going to paste it in the arrow. Now you'll notice that it's really, really small. So that's too small for your teacher to see. So you're going to highlight it, go back to the font size, and maybe take it up to like 24. That's a much better size. Okay. Again, you're going to, you should be able to highlight it. You're actually going to highlight this part, and you're going to go back to the fill, and you're going to make it transparent. And now the arrow is not exactly in the place that I want it to be. So when I get that little crosshair looking bar, I can move it up here like this. Okay, get it close to the picture. And then actually, when I go click back on it, I should be able to, I can change the size of the arrow itself. And I can do that each place, but also in the arrow, I'm going to want to write what this means. Okay. So it says it depends on the fall of the cards. I'm going to put a period then. This means that you can't always change the way things turn out. Okay, and that's a little bit tight in there, so I'm going to go back to my actual arrow, and I'm going to pull it up a little bigger so that you can see all the words inside clearly. Okay, then I'm going to maybe move it a little bit closer in so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, and then you are essentially done. I might even go back and change the arrow width, the border weight for it as well, to a 4, so I can see it more clearly. And so there you can tell that this is the piece that you're looking at. Okay, this is the proverb here and what it means, and you're telling me that this is the circle that it goes to. Okay, so I can go back, and I'm actually going to just, I'm going to actually delete this because this is actually the original doc that I'm going to send out to you. And again, you're going to go back and you're going to look at all the 20 possibilities. You're going to only choose 5, and then you're going to submit it. And I want to tell you that you have to push submit. You have to turn this in, because I'm not going to grade it. I'm not going to even look at it if it doesn't have something that says that you've turned it in. So really, really important to turn it in if you want to get the extra credit. Again, this is just kind of a fun thing to do. I think it's a fun thing to do. I hope you think it's a fun thing to do, but please make sure that you hit submit. Please make sure that you only do 5, and this is due by 5 o'clock today. No late work. This is extra credit, so nothing late after this. Have a great day and have a great spring break.